In this video, I'm gonna be showing you how to upgrade your Asus Zenbook S16. So let's go ahead and set up our Magic Arm from Neewer so we can get this upgrade started. All right, so for this, we're actually gonna go to our trusty iFixit kit, and for the bit, we're gonna be using the Torx T4. And now we actually have to take out 11 screws, all the way on the top, in the middle, and on the bottom. And I'll actually start from the top here, and we're gonna use our iFixit grid to make sure that we keep track of where all of our screws are, because we're gonna put them back right exactly where they came from. And I should mention that when you take these out, you got to keep your hand steady. If you do not think that you can keep your hand steady so you don't scratch up your system, you can put your thumb next to the screwdriver so that way it kind of holds it steady so it doesn't move, and slowly take them out. Now that we have all of our screws out, we're going to start prying with our pick to try to get the back cover off. To get the process of removing the back started, we have to create a gap somewhere. To do this, I'm actually going to just take my fingers right here and then slightly pull towards me, and it shall create a little gap on the right side of the corner. And I'm going to stick my pick inside here and very carefully try to see if I can open up the right side here. So see, there's a little clip right there. We were able to get that out. So now we're gonna work our way around the right side of the laptop. We're gonna set our laptop back down so we can be careful so we don't drop it. And as I'm pulling up with these fingers here, and I'll show you real quick. So since I have this gap, I'm gonna put a little bit of pressure outward like that, while I take my pick and work my way around the side very carefully. You don't wanna force anything. And then work all the way down. There we go, that one actually came out. Now we have that entire side off. We're going to work on getting the rest of it off. So we're gonna keep working our way around the front of the laptop. Very carefully, make sure that you don't pull super hard because you don't want to break any clips while you're doing this. And the reason why I'm going here and not through the back, because I usually start from the back entirely. The reason why I'm going through the front on this laptop is because this laptop, to get to the back of it is actually pretty difficult. As you can see, it's actually, the hinge goes all the way in deeply, so I can't get my pick to go all the way in there without damaging the laptop. So I'm gonna work my way around the front of the laptop, which does seem to be coming out pretty easily. And we're gonna continue this going around, putting a little bit of pressure with my hand and working on these little clips here, which it's actually not super hard to do, but just be careful. That's another one. And then now that we have this loose, I can actually wiggle it with my finger. I'm gonna turn this back around, take both hands, and then just give it a little wiggle, and it should pop right off. All right, so we have it now opened, and here's a look at the inside of the laptop. It's actually very nice and compact, but the first thing that I'm going to do is going to be to disconnect the battery. This gigantic thing right here is the battery, but I always do this to prevent any possible damage on the actual PCB itself, because if you put anything metal around one of these contacts, there's a possibility that you can just go pop and destroy your laptop. This is where the battery latch is. It does have a little bit of a sticker here. I'm gonna try to remove this as easily as I can, just so it doesn't interfere with what I'm trying to do. There we go. We're gonna set that just like that. And then to remove this battery, this latch actually works by clamping down. So we're gonna take our pick and we're going to push the little clamp up, which releases it very easily. And now we're going to lift this upward, not down, not forward, but upward. So to do this, I like to kind of get under it a little bit, and it should pop right off. There we go. So now that we have the battery disconnected, we can safely work on our laptop. All right, now that we're inside and we can safely work on our laptop, let's take a look to see what's actually upgradable in this laptop. So this laptop actually comes with 24 gigs of onboard RAM, meaning that you cannot upgrade the RAM. Actually, you can see some of the little chiplets there, but you cannot actually upgrade the RAM. There is no slot for it. You cannot remove it. You cannot do anything with it. The only thing that you can actually upgrade in this system is going to be the NVMe SSD, which is located right under this little thermal pad. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually take this thermal pad off so it can get out of the way. We're gonna take this very carefully off without ripping it. Just take your time, slowly. There we go. I'm gonna set this off to the side. So you're gonna take a small Phillips head screwdriver. For this, we're gonna use the PH00 bit from our iFixit kit. And to remove it, you're gonna take off this one screw right here. I'm gonna set that off to the side. And to get this up, we're actually gonna be using our fingernails. If you don't have a fingernail, use your pick. I do not have fingernails, but I'm gonna try to do it with my fingers just in general. And we're gonna slightly lift up, not too much. It's just to release it. See, it's not a lot of force and it doesn't go up very high. And then once we get it loose like this, we're going to pull to the left and wiggle, 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 and it'll come right out very easily. And in case you guys wanna see what the NVMe looks like inside, I can actually peel this back just quickly to see what it is. And we have a 1 terabyte Micron NVMe SSD. This is a Gen 4, and we're actually gonna be replacing it with another Gen 4. Once you have your upgrade drive ready, in this case, we're gonna be using a 2 terabyte NVMe SSD. We're going to pretty much work backwards, right? So we're gonna be sliding it right back into the same place the other one came from. Make sure that you pay attention to the notch that's right there and match the notch on the actual port. Align it really well, and then push to your right. Once it's all the way in, you'll be able to see no exposed gold contacts. You're gonna release it and make sure that it's fully in and wiggle it into place where it matches the hole on the left. Now, we can easily take that same screwdriver that we had before, put our little screw onto the tip, and just screw it right back in. And of course, let's not forget our thermal pad. This is a very sticky thermal pad. We're gonna put that back because that acts as a heat transfer for the NVMe SSD. So we're gonna put this back on the NVMe, and what it does, it transfers the heat more easily onto your actual back panel, and then this becomes the heatsink itself. Now that we're ready to close it up, make sure that you plug your battery right back in. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that same battery plug and you're gonna align it beforehand. And once it's aligned, you're just gonna take one finger and press down, make sure it's all the way in. That's good. And you can either use your finger or your pick. I'm gonna use my pick in this case to make sure that that latch is locked back into place. And don't forget the little tape, because that actually holds the cables in place. There you go. All right, so the last thing to do is gonna be to put your cover right back on. We're gonna slide the front of the laptop in first. And the reason we're doing this is because these have these little hooks here that could possibly break off, versus the back has just these little notches that have a less likely chance of breaking off. Align it in the front first. And what we're actually going to do is going to work our way around one side first. So I'm gonna make sure that that front end is in, and then I'm gonna push towards the laptop with my thumb to try to get these clips to go in, because there are other hooks right here, but we have to make sure that they fully go in. Towards the laptop, so to make sure that those hooks fully seat. Now we're gonna do the other side, but first work our way around the bottom. And then we'll get that one in, nice. We'll get these in, nice. We're gonna get this corner one in, make sure that goes in, and we're gonna make sure that the back is fully in. You see like the back here isn't fully in. I'm gonna pop that in very easily, and then make sure that the whole entire backside is secure. You'll be able to hear those little clips go in. And before you end up putting your screws on, make sure that you go around the laptop and verify that it's actually flush around the entire laptop itself, so you have no gaps. So you have no gaps all the way around. And that way you can put your screws back in. All right, now remember that we use the iFixit grid to make sure that the screws stay exactly where they came from. So I'm starting from the top here. All right, so this covers the hardware portion of it on how to change the SSD on your laptop. If you need to know the software part of it, let's say if you're not doing a fresh install of Windows and you just want to clone your drive over, before you do this part, make sure that you go down in the description below and check out the video that we did on how to clone your drive using Macrium. That being said, I hope that this video was very helpful to you in upgrading your laptop. Until next time, take care of yourself.